Oh, no.
Samus, Unit 217 has discovered evidence of hidden Chozo artifacts on Skytown. Perhaps these could assist you in accessing the rest of the pirate base.
Well, I was overruled there, but hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. In the last episode, we defeated Gandrida at the pirate homeworld, and we obtained the grapple voltage, but we can't, as is often the case, we can't actually proceed with the pirate homeworld for now, so we've come back to Elysia. I've got a few more things to gather then before doing what we actually need to gather here. First off, here at landing site B, we missed this fellow here, which is a little data bot. Agreement. The treaty, so this is the treaty between the Elysians and the Federation, brought us new supplies, fuel, and parts from the Federation. In return, we allowed them to use Elysia Station as they saw fit. They were glad to use the station's powerful scientific systems and gleaned a great deal of knowledge from our databanks. Unfortunately, the harsh atmosphere of our world was dangerous for the Federation researchers. They proposed to replace the humanoids with a single artificial intelligence unit, which they called Aurora. So you can see where this kind of fits in the data about the Elysians and the Federation we've got so far. I just kind of missed getting it at the time. So now let's, without further ado, got two more things together, so let's fly over to the main docking bay on Elysia. Back in, this is East Skytown, so back in, no. Yes, this is East, so back in West Skytown, Main Skytown, whatever it's called, I don't care. I do, but still, where? So we got a couple of things that I've overlooked here for whatever reason. Not intentionally. These aren't these two things I'm about to show plus that last one aren't things I've actually missed out so much as things I've just forgotten about. Like I was talking when they came by or whatever. So here, immediately after you fought Gore, you can with the plasma beam melt this slag here and just hop in and get a straight up missile expansion behind this kind of glass thing. Pretty nice. Now well, I'm not even gonna, it's just over here, so I'm just gonna actually put the speeder on. I don't know, the speeder might be hideously nauseating in this game, and I'll try to make it as smooth as I can, but it feels silly to use the map visualizer for such a short distance. So, over here at the arrival station, we have got another databot we missed, and this is one of the final few databots. Certainly the last one we've missed, there are some others to get generally, but this one's called Gift. Several decades passed for the Chozo here at Elysia. The harsh winds and storms began to take their toll on the station, and the upkeep began to take up more and more of their precious time. Seeing a need for assistance, they created us. The first Elysian, built by Chozo hands, came out of the Mechanicresh 1450.82 years ago. Crude by our current standards, the first was soon given the greatest gift of all by the Chozo. To better assist our creators, the first was given self-awareness. To all other Elysians, the first shared the Chozo gift. This event marked year one of the Elysian Reckoning. So, that's proper backtracking done, as in shit I literally missed. So we have now non-backtracking, which is stuff we have to go back and get, but we're supposed to during the game. So, we need to go to... Well, first off, I'll tell you how the Skytown map has changed. Remember the Spire dock that used to be here? Yes, that's gone. We dropped it on the seed, so it's no longer there. If you were to approach it from this bit here, from the Aurora unit, tough shit. You now have no option there. But if you approach it from this landing bay here, you can take a cannon across from there to there, which is exactly what we're going to do. So I will see you here at the Spire dock. I'm not pointing at it. There we go. I will see you over there. So as described, here is the promised cannon, which will fire us over. So this is obviously where the Spire was, like the kind of Spire pod. But it'll fire us straight over to this section here. So we've been through this section before. So it's wibbly and wobbly, and it's the junction, this kind of like round thing, and it's got 4 ways coming off it. We've only actually ever taken 2 of them, so we're going to be taking the other 2 basically today. By today I mean this episode, of course. And this takes us onto a new zipline, which we couldn't have accessed because the gate is blocking it and the energy is low on power, so we can fuel it up using the grapple voltage. Wow, it's taking a real lot of juice. Actually, it's not. I was on 99, so it's not taking us a huge amount. And we go through one of the final few of these zip lines. Yes, don't worry, we're nearly done with them. And I remember them being a lot more present than they are in this game, but I think that's because when I first played this game, I just got really, like, stuck for what to do on Skytown, and, like, getting around Skytown, especially when you didn't know how to unlock the other cannons, was just an absolute nightmare. Anyway, hey, no zipline here. But fortunately, we can just... We have the screw attack now, so we can just screw the remaining distance, and we are absolutely fine. So this enters us into a new area called the Power Works. So let's drain the shield. That actually does heal me up a little bit. You can occasionally use the grapple voltage for like healing during combat, depending on the enemy. Some enemies can be grappled with it, others can't. So, floating around here, we've got a fair few things. We have got Energy grid currently offline. Activation of surrounding nodes will restore power. Oh yes, I need to hit the nodes simultaneously, don't I? It's one of those things. Yep, and spoing. That one can be a bit janky because it's quite tight for space as well. Oh, I've just remembered what this is. It's the silly flip maneuver. You'll understand what I mean in a second. Anyway, we can hop down here, and we've got two things down here of use. Number one is floating around somewhere. There he is. There is an Elysian databot, which gives us another precious bit of Elysian lore. This one is called Defeat. The 2 weeks following the Seed's impact were disastrous. Like the Aurora unit, we too were infected with a Phazon-based virus. The spreading corruption consumed many of us, putting us under space pirate control. It was not long before only a handful of us remained. During this time, there was but a moment that we received aid. Gore, the hunter dispatched by the Federation, arrived here to restore the Aurora unit. Our hope quickly vanished as he too was corrupted by Phazon and lost his own will. He now leads the assault on the remaining survivors, taking more and more of the station over with each passing day. There is no hope left for us. Soon we too will be among the enemy forces. The last of us now stand before the brink of our history's end, silently waiting out our last hours. I am Elysian, descendant of both the Chozo and the First. I am facing the last moments of my life and transferring my memory to the datapod. Well, that got dark real fast. It's almost the end of the Elysian story now, there's only a couple more to get. Protective barrier in place. Restore room operations to release barrier. Up in the ceiling, we've got these gears appear to have stopped functioning. A missing section is required here to resume operations. And look at that, on the floor, there is a use your words, cog. Fallen gear appears movable. Cannot get enough leverage to pull from this angle. I will preface this is ridiculous. It's annoying and difficult, and it's stupid as well. If I scan this again from up here, we'll say gear can be pulled up from this angle. Might be possible to return the gear to its original location. Grapple it. Flick it up into the air, and give it a nice charge shot to slap it in place. No chance that would work, but hey, it's not the most ridiculous thing in this game, but it's up there. Yet another cool Chozo mechanism opening up though, and if you look at the back, that should give you an idea of what this thing is. So indeed, we always seem to get this when you're kind of partway through the last area. This is the Spider Ball. So this is always good fun. We can now glide up spider tracks by using the Morph Ball. That Chozo statue, good one, moves out of the way, and we can hop down here, because there's useful things down here. There's not actually a spider rail yet, but we'll get to one in a second. Here, so if you hold Z, you attach yourself onto the spider rail, and generally, spider rails just come in, oh dear, let's stay away from that, discrete tracks that you can kind of follow. You can let go of Z and then grapple on again by holding onto Z. If something hits you, you will drop off and you won't be able to grab on for about half a second or so, which in many of these places will really kill the shit out of you. Like here, I'd be fine to grapple a bit later down, but if it hit me closer to the bottom, I would have a bad time. This is utterly pointless, this bit, but it's quite, as in meaningless, like it was just a long spider section for the sake of it. Oh, I don't want to go down here. I always thought that was a missile expansion, but it's not, it's just a missile thing. You know what I mean, it's a missile replenishing thing. You actually want to go up here. And up here you get to this kind of halfway zone. Here is a nice easy missile tank to miss. Missile tank? Missile upgrade. But first we'll scan this, because now we've got the tech, we can get it as a scan. This is a spider ball track. Magnetic rail system is powered and active. But we're not going that way, we want to go to this one over here. Because this one is very easy, as I say, to overlook. Oh, by the way, if you boost, you'll hop horizontally across. And remember that for a lot of spider ball tracks, because it's easy to... Well, I was going to say it's easy to forget and be like, oh, why are we, what do they want me to do? I can't get across that space. But yes, missile expansion, very nice. Let's head back to where we just were. And now we can head up here, and this is the way we actually need to go. Once again, it actually tells us now, it doesn't tell you necessarily there, that you can use the boost to hop along horizontally. Oh, that's the end of the spider ball, that's why I wasn't going any further. And through a series of rails and tunnels, we come out, bam, just before we dropped down into the power works down there. Which is real nice. This also gives us a very handy way of crossing that broken zip line up ahead here. I always find the spider ball to be a particularly cool power-up, and it's no exception in this game, especially on the already cool-looking world of Elysia. So what we need to do is get back is first retrace our steps over here, and we need to, because you need to almost rise there, you need to do some fast screws, as it were, to get over that. But now we begin a full-on, like, spider rail roller coaster. And these are always cool whenever they happen, because they have twisty shit like that. I have no idea what the point of this is. Guess it's some kind of, like, it was a support structure for something much larger, which has now fallen away, or something like that, because it looks ridiculous. Also reminds me of Rail Canyon from, Sonic Heroes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've done 4 bloody Let's Plays in Sonic Heroes. Oh, by the way, here, wait till the Zappy Zap stops and then cross over. But yeah, I've done... 1, 2, for a nice, easy energy tank. Look at that. And now we kind of just need to proceed along. But yes, if you've not seen Sonic Heroes before, I've done no fewer than 4 Let's Plays of it, because it has a lot of overlap and there's 2 different teams you do shit with. Oh, can I boost up? I can, as long as I'm facing with the spider rail in the right way. So yeah, that's a vaguely... It was one of my kind of inter-project projects, which are always fun to do. I've actually, weirdly today, this afternoon, I was filming my next one, which will come after this, because it's only like 4 episodes of just some daft little thing that's not entirely unlike what we're doing at the moment, and I'll leave it at that. But that's going to go between this and my next major project, for which, in case anyone was wondering, yes, I have done my usual, and yes, musical hints have already been dropped. Hopefully you pick up on that. I mean, they're not exactly subtle. Like, if you know what the music is, you will spot it there. If you don't, then you were never going to spot it anyway, so there's that. Anyway, when we're back here on the other side, we now want to go left around here again, and oh, there's a Dragoon here that wasn't here before. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to, like, grapple him, but I accidentally channeled some energy into him with the voltage and blew him up. Anyway, I forgot something here ages ago, the last time we were here. So this is the Sky Bridge when we fought, like, a... that drops off halfway through because we fought a Steam Lord there. Inside this hole here, it's real easy to miss to the point where I missed it, is a missile expansion. There you go. Now we need to go round to the other side of the junction and proceed along a little bit until we get to the construction bay. So that thing up there that looks like the sun is not the sun. That's a weird new enemy you'll start to see all over the damn place. This is a phasoid, corporeal phasal entity that is vulnerable to phazon-based attacks. So the only thing that can damage it is, in fact, the hyper beam. Do enough damage to it, it'll split into 2. Maybe one of those 2 will be red, in which case they're another scan and don't come up very often, unfortunately. If not, well, it is what it is. So they're an interesting enemy in that they have to be fought entirely by using hyper mode, and they're completely invulnerable to all other attacks. But anyway, I've come up here, which was unnecessary. What we actually want to do is all the way down here, where there is a voltage terminal here. You can tell by the meter that it needs juicing up rather than down, so there we go. And that activates this little morph ball lift here for us. Look at that, very nice. Now we do need to do, this is kind of what I was thinking of doing first, we do need to get now over there. You can see a little data bot flying there which tells you that's where we need to go. It's not an easy jump to make, you've got to pretty efficiently use all 5 of your screws, but that gets us 2 things. It gets us a missile expansion, obviously, from the fact that we got a missile expansion, that should have been obvious. And also we have this data bot here, which we can scan for Elysian lore. This one's called Phazon. 1 week after we had lost communication with the Aurora unit, we witnessed the living planet strike again. It sent forth several stellar objects, one aimed directly for us. It streaked through the clouds of Elysia, destroying a large portion of our home, ultimately striking the distant core below. Soon our sensors detected the presence of a strange energy. Our readings matched with the Federation data. This was the same toxin that had corrupted countless other planets, well, 2, and our creator's world. So, 2, including our creator's world. The galactic scourge called Phazon. Ooh, spooky. Anyway, we now need to get back over to this bit here. So, oh no, I if you don't time like your, oh, I'm back over. Okay, if you don't time your jump and then your space jump properly, if you just hammer A, you won't go. Oh, I did go into. Well, I don't know then. I'm not sure entirely why my screw attack didn't fire up there. I guess there are some things man was not meant to know. Anyway, here are we where I want to be? Ballista lift, ballista. Yes, we are where I want to be. Excellent. All of these pods feel kind of similar in Skytown, and it can be a real bit of a navigational nightmare. But this is where we fought the old defense drone. So, but there's one little thing that can be garnered here with a few more upgrades we've got. So firstly, activate the cool lift. And time for another battle with the Steam Lord, except we've got 2 advantages we didn't have last time. Number 1, last time we could only kill his... Oh, what do you want?
Samus, this is Admiral Dane. I've ordered the Federation fleet to walk to the pirate homeworld and begin the invasion. I think it's time we took the fight to them. We'll contact you when we're ready to commence our assault.
So obviously that's triggered eventually by us getting the spider ball. But yeah, these tin android bots, whatever they're called, steam bots, you can resurrect them indefinitely unless you kill them with the plasma beam, in which case they melt and you can't resurrect them. As for the man himself, he cloaks himself and moves around, but the cloaking isn't very useful now that we have got the X-ray visor. So steam bots are a lot easier to fight than they once were. The only issue is when you've got the X-ray visor up, you can't go hyper. So this makes him slightly more irritating to fight because we can't kill him quickly, but he dies also. He's not a powerful enemy. Oh no, cock, did I stand in that by accident? Oh, how frustrating. Well, Mel, I always like seeing this animation of this cage thing appearing. So what we want to do down here is we have got this thing here, which if we scan it says lock is engaged and energized by multiple nearby power sources. Destroy the sources to gain entry. So these turbines energizing it. The turbine is supplying power to the lock mechanism, but overloading the system may disable the lock. Oh, apparently I'm targeting that one. I'm as surprised as that by you. Wait, what? I'm as surprised by that as you. Overload those things and the turbines blow up, which means the lock opens. Though weirdly that looks like a very passive lock, so it's hard to picture how that lock was being supplied with energy. Anyway, another power cell for the collection. We're pretty close to be using those power cells now. We need, how many are there in total? 8 in total, or is it 9? Maybe 9. We should check that, and we can check that indeed. If we go on the inventory, we can see everything here. So yeah, we have got 4, and we need 4 more. So there's 8 in. No, we've got 5, and we need 4 more. So there's 9 in total. Check how many like ship missiles you've got. Any of your stuff like this. Logbook entries as well, so you can see everything sorted by creatures, research, and lore. So you can see we've got almost all of the Skytown data now. We're only missing one of them, which is pretty cool. So that's nice for actually tracking 100% completion. Though I recently learned you don't need scans for 100% completion. You just need all of the collectible stuff. So missiles, ship missiles, energy tanks, and energy cells. You need all of them, and you need all the energy cells to get all the energy tanks and missiles anyway. So yeah, all of them is all you need for the 100% bonus ending. Though it doesn't call it 100%. It's nice to have 100% from the scans though, because you know completionism is its own reward in a lot of ways. Anyway, enough of my talking shit. We're going to head now back over to, once again, that junction site. Now here we just need to go through this final exit that we've also never been to this room with the fantastic name of the Hoverplat docking site, which I can only assume is short for hover platform. But anyway, we just need to proceed along here, and it's just a series of screw attacks between these, what I can only assume are hoverplats. There we go, and there's handy little arrows on the floor even telling you which way to go, which is very nice. So I can see another phasoid in the distance. But we've got a spider rail here, which is why I'd not been here in the past. Let's see if we're going to get the special one. We have got the special one! Oh, that's very good. So, you'll notice that bottom one is a new scan. These just occasionally happen. This is a red phasors, a rare strain of corporeal energy, vulnerable to phazon-based attacks. They take a lot more hits to kill, because I'm just going to fire, like, they'll take a couple of energy tanks. Oh, no, apparently just 3 is enough. The thing they drop looks like it's going to be cooler than it is. If you grab it, it just says, red phasor is defeated. So it's just a bonus credit thing, those things you get around the place for doing achievements anyway. Except that one you have to actively go and collect the thing, apparently. This always looks quite cool. It looks like some kind of massive gun or something. And just remember once again that when you're on a flat section like that, if you boost, you'll always just boost, like, straight off whatever direction the rail is on. So when the rail's on there, you'll go perpendicular to the rail, basically. And this is a pretty straightforward bit that gets us a ship missile, which is real nice. What do I want to do here now? I think there's another data bot up ahead, so once we've grabbed him, then we can move along. Am I correct? I'm correct! Hello, so I find a little bit of Elysian lore, I believe this is in the entire game. So, this is Invader. We watched as Elysia fell victim to the meteor's corruption, its phazon beginning to consume her. High above the noxious surface, we continued to collect data on the object. It was not long before we met a new enemy. Space pirates, hostile alien life forms, and sworn enemies of the Federation entered the station and attacked. The pirate fortress struck swiftly, their numbers and weapons dwarfing our own. After their initial assault, they began construction of a massive energy shield around the meteor. They referred to the fallen object as the Seed, and quickly built the protective barrier. Any resistance they met from us was crushed, and their massive shield was built without interruption. Our attention turned then to the pirates themselves. If we could not stop them through combat, perhaps there was another way. Our studies quickly yield unexpected results. All of the space pirates were corrupted with Phazon, but unlike other life forms, they were being sustained by it. This Phazon kept them alive, and it appeared to control their minds with a will of its own. We've already had some hints from on the pirate homeworld of exactly what's going on there involving Dark Samus, but... Anyway, I need to go to next, this L area, the barracks, which is actually just over there, so... You know what? Not going to cut. I'm going to have just a nice bit to show off how beautifully orange Elysia's environment is. I've started, by the way, doing the analysis of how orange this game is, quantitatively and statistically analysed, and the results are not surprising. It's going to be the content of the bonus episode for this. I'm only going to do one bonus episode for this, and amongst other things in it will be a full analysis of the colour profile of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, and... Turns out, yes, it's orange. Who knew? But back here, we now need to head... I believe it's downstairs. Let's say all these... Oh, no, upstairs! That hammers my home point even more. Wait, my home point... What? Hammers my point home even more. We didn't even want to go upstairs. I wanted to go... Like, I thought I wasn't downstairs, so the door to downstairs wasn't. I've bamboozled myself, both verbally and cartographically. But we actually want to go in here. Because there was this really cool half-pipe that assembled itself in here, which we want to use, but there is actually something at the top of it. If I... Nope, didn't have quite enough beans there. If I hop up... It's like... There is where you want to release your thing, ideally. On the other side, you will see, there is... Oh, it's through here, isn't it? Yes, I had forgotten briefly. There's a spider rail through here. If I just avoid... Ow! Avoid those things he says. Crashing into them with maximum beans. We can grab it here. There we go. There we go. If we grapple up here, spider up here even, we get a missile expansion. And that really kind of concludes our work here on Elysia, and as such, the episode. So thank you very much for watching. We've gathered various things we need to, including the spider ball, which we really need to explore further in the pirate homeworld. So next episode we'll be returning to the pirate homeworld and exploring all of that. We're trying to grab ourselves a hazard shield to get past the old acid rain. Thank you very much, and good day.